Good evening to you. Our top stories tonight. A fire damaged 3 apartments in a block of flats at the Seaview village at Northeast Point. The Fire and Rescue Service Agency said that it received information about the fire, which had broken out at around 10:55 this morning. The fire services spokesperson, Jones Madeleine, said that 2 fire trucks were deployed to contain the blaze. The fire apparently started in one of the apartments and then spread to the other 2. The first floors were the most affected by the fire. No one was hurt. Some families were able to remove some items from the houses. The member of the National Assembly for the Glacé district, Regina Esparon, was on hand to provide support to the affected families. She said arrangements were being made to help the 3 families with temporary accommodation. The Fire and Rescue Services Agency says it has opened an investigation into the cause of the fire. President Wavel Ramkalawan welcomed the 3 divers who are working on the SECAT project to clean up the sea at 3 locations around Mahé. The president expressed his appreciation for their work and says that this is a kind of initiative that were discussed during the Africa Day of Seas and Oceans and are discussed in international meetings relating to the oceans, making the country proud. Marcus Cat, Mervyn Cedras and Dominique Terlemont says they were able to present their project to President Ramkalawan. They were also accompanied by Rico Padeashi, who is video documenting the project, which will have the participation of the President himself. They also discussed having a regional ocean cleanup day.
We are very proud to be invited to the State House by the President to present our project, our cleanup water project. So it's an honor for us, and we have a beautiful talk with the President. So he's fully engaged.
Concerning our ocean cleanup day, we want it to be regional in the Indian Ocean, so as to make a day, so a date, more to say. So as to settle one day every island, so as to clean our oceans and keep it clean for one day. And I think it's going to be a great idea, and we are looking forward to it.
The Seychelles Stroke Foundation says President Ramkalawan has given his commitment to help them find a place where the foundation can welcome victims of stroke. This was in a visit at State House where they discussed their projects and challenges. They also discussed their affiliation with the World Stroke Organization and the African Stroke Organization, proposing ways Seychelles can benefit through them.
There's a place where we found that the stroke survivors can meet because they are at home all the time, and they need somewhere like they're talking the same language after a stroke so that they can meet, and then it's closer to where they can do the hydrotherapy session at the Oshkaiman swimming pool. And then he's going to look into this matter, and then we explained to him a bit about our affiliation with the World Stroke Organization and the African Stroke Organization, whereby maybe we can be the liaison between the Ministry of Health and those organizations, African and World Stroke. And then where neurology is concerned, because there's no Seychelles neurologist, maybe a cooperation can exist between African Stroke Organization and the Ministry of Health.
The Minister for Education, Dr. Justin Valentin, has continued his support visits to educational institutions today. This morning, he visited the Seychelles Maritime Academy and the Seychelles Institute of Technology. During discussions he had with the staff and management teams of both centers, funds and resources were the main concerns that came up. Minister Valentin reassured both teams that the ministry will always support the development of the centers. He added that the private sector can also lend a hand in facilitating or financing the implementation of projects and programs of these centers.
My visit today was fantastic in the sense that I've been able to see the challenges that the schools, the different PCs are facing. You know, at the moment, everybody is talking about lack of resources. So I am trying to build their confidence in order to get them to go out there, to talk to the private sectors so that they can build partnership and ultimately get the team to actually, fulfill their wishes in terms of equipping the school with resources.
The governor of the central bank, Caroline Abel, says that though the economy is performing much better than it did last year, it remains vulnerable. Governor Abel says that inflation is still high, but the foreign exchange market is stable. The governor has indicated that the central bank is working with the private sector to find out what really is causing the price of goods to remain so high.
The foreign exchange market is doing better. We're seeing increasing receipts in foreign exchange. Whilst demand has increased, but we've seen a slowdown. So this is helping the economy to retain a bit of foreign currency that we are earning. For example, the month of July, we managed to retain 1.8 million. But so far in August, we are seeing a slight increase in demand. But overall, the foreign exchange market is stable with an appreciating exchange rate. Inflation for July year-on-year is 10.62%, which we consider to be still on the high side, even though it has moderated from the June data. So it's important for us to clearly understand this elevation in prices in view that for the month of June and May we had seen a decline in food prices internationally, and domestically we have seen an appreciating currency. But we are also mindful of the shipping constraints, which has caused certain level of increases in fees from shipping lines. But overall, central bank is calling on all economic agents that we are mindful of these different forces and that the right reflection is done in domestic prices.
The United Seychelles Party says the Seychelles government's agenda with the International Monetary Fund is unclear and that the party will not make any commitment vis-à-vis the program. United Seychelles leader Dr. Patrick Emini said the LDS government must put all the cards on the table and clearly explain to the people of Seychelles the details of the program concluded by the government with the IMF. Dr. Emini was speaking this morning during the 8th United Seychelles press conference. The former tourism minister Alice Etange has won nearly 7 million rupees damages against the government in an appeal court ruling over his candidacy for a top United Nations job. Mr. Setange sued for personal financial losses and moral damages when the government withdrew its support for the attempt to lead the UN World Tourism Organization. The 2017 debacle resulted in Seychelles officially backing the ultimately successful Zimbabwean candidate as the Africa representative instead of Mr. Setange, who'd been the favorite to win. In another appeal court ruling, the Vijay Construction Group has lost the latest round in its battle over the disputed Savoy Resort development. The judges backed an earlier constitutional court ruling against the building firm, which was sued for millions of rupees by Eastern European Engineering Limited. Today's sessions opened with the court's president, Judge Anthony Fernando, setting out its progress towards clearing a long backlog of appeal cases. And that's it for now. I'll be back with all the day's news in Creole in just an hour's time. Next.